Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for another week of summer reading activities. So today we're going to be making a lantern jar. So I'm going to tell you what supplies you need, but I do want to add that I want you guys to be as creative as possible when you do this craft. Everything that I've got here is really open to interpretation. So use what I've done for ideas, but definitely make it your own, and whatever supplies you have at home are perfectly fine. But here's your basic stuff that you're going to need. So as you can see here, I have two different jars. The one we're going to be working with primarily is like your standard size mason jar. You can see my caps and everything are a little yucky. I went digging around in our basement for things we didn't use before, but that's okay because later when you're doing the craft you can cover that up, no problem. You could also use like a pickle jar or something else that you have at home. You're just going to have to make the images a little bit smaller. You're also going to need some Modge Podge right here. So you're going to mix that with a little bit of glue later, or not glue, water later. So that's going to be your sticky base there. And then you're going to need a piece of tissue paper. I've also seen people do this with regular tissues. So if that's something that you want to try, you can definitely do that as well. And then to this page, we're also going to upload a bunch of different images you can use. So we've got like a pirate ship, a dragon, a unicorn. These are just some examples. If this is something that you don't want to do, you want to do something completely different, you're perfectly fine to do that. It's just got to be like this black silhouette so that it comes through for you. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how you're going to make your base. So we have our tissue paper here, and you actually don't really need a lot. So if your jar is bigger, you might need more tissue paper, but we're working with the standard, and as I was doing this, I kind of found that you really only need like a strip. So as you can see, there's kind of like a crease in there already, so that definitely helps. You want to cut about on that line, near that line. That'll work for you. Because anything that's not even or perfect, we can definitely kind of shellac down later. And then what I'm also recommending that you get is one of these kinds of brushes, a sponge brush. If you don't have one, that's fine, but I just find that this is a lot easier to use with the paper just because it's easily tearable. If you do happen to tear it, that's an easy fix too. Don't worry about it. But you're gonna just mix like a little bit of glue with the water so you have like kind of like this really thin slurry. So you're going to get the whole base of your jar here. So right under the part where the lid would go there. You don't need a lot just to start. So as I said to you, it is very fragile at this point. So just slowly what you're gonna do is get right up under the base here and start tapping it down. And it is getting a little wrinkled. You don't have to worry about that either. And there is going to be some extra, but we're going to tape that down to the bottom. So then you're going to casually start gently tapping around the jar. And if you should make a mistake and there's a rip, it's very easy to patch. I've done that before myself. So you can see there's all kinds of creases. If you get a couple of them, no problem. So just tap it down gently as best as you can, and as long as you've wrapped all the way around the jar, you're just going to cut the excess. And this little bit here is going to help if you have any kinds of mistakes that you need to fill in. So for the most part, you can actually probably cut a little bit more. Oops. You're just going to need to go around the jar once, because the thinner the layer is going to be, the better that your image is going to come through. So once that's down like this, you want to make sure that it's extra secure. You're going to take your brush and your glue slurry mixture again, and you're going to gently go over the top of the jar and just kind of flatten out any of those awkward wrinkles and just tap everything into place like I'm doing here. So you can kind of see there's like a little bit of a smoggy kind of look, and if you should accidentally rip like I did here, no worries, you can go back And if you want to throw in a piece to like patch it in, you can do that. And then with the bottom of your jar here, you're going to add a little bit more glue. Just kind of get it at the bottom. And same thing, you're going to just fold in and pat that down. You don't have to worry too much about how that looks because it is going to be just the bottom of the jar. Okay, so that's pretty much what it's going to look like. It will take a little bit to dry. If you're impatient like me though, you can hit it with the blow dryer. I did that before and it sped along the process a little bit and I was able to see where I needed to make any kind of adjustments. So we'll just put that on the side for right now because through the magic of the internet, I have one prepared for you. So, okay, you're at your next spot, and as I said to you before, I did have some images for you that you can try. I think we're going to go with the pirate ship for this one. So, dependent on how comfortable you feel with like lowering this in because of the narrowness of the jar, maybe you want to get like some tweezers or something like that. That's really up to you. But at this point, you're just going to get your glue slurry again. And you can either get the inside of the jar like I'm doing, just to make sure that it's all in there, or you can put some glue on the front of your image. Just make sure that the black side is facing the inside of the jar here. So you're going to put your image down carefully. And just, you can kind of see it poking through. And these are rough seas, so it's not going to be perfectly on the bottom. But if you can do that, or if that's what you want, you can definitely do that. But I kind of like the idea of, you know, the pirates being, you know, on an adventure of sorts. But just put a little bit of extra glue down. And that's pretty much all you have to do for your basic amount of work. If you want to like zhuzh it up, make it extra, you might remember from our last video, I have bought some glitter paint. So you could certainly, let's just do it, put a little bit onto our tray here and get another one of those sponge brushes, or we could even use just a regular brush here. And if you want to make those pirates like pop, maybe they're going to Neverland, I don't know. Make it a little extra and go all the way around. This is a silver glue or glitter glue. If you want to do something different, or maybe just you want to use red paper instead of white or anything like that, you make it, you know, how you want to. It's your creation. And this is Imagine Your Story after all, so imagine what your story is going to look like. Okay, so that would be your last step there. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to put some tea lights inside, or you're going to put some kind of like a little battery operated twinkle light, and then you're going to put the cap on. And if you want to make it like really true to theme, you can paint that lid or decorate it or whatever you want to do, but I'm going to show you what our finished one looked like from before. Let me just get the lights. I should mention, this is why we were inside today, because we wanted to make sure that you guys saw this. So we did a mermaid here, which I was really excited about, and we have some leftover shells from a beach trip long ago. If not, you can certainly get some in the dollar store or whatever, and we did like a little bit of a seaweed effect. But that's really all you do, and these tea lights come in multiple different sizes, so you can get one that's going to pop out best for you. If you want, you could even put some stones or something at the bottom of the jar to make it look like, you know, whatever land your creature is from. But that is our creation for you. So we hope that you give this a try and that this will be fun for you. It certainly was fun for me. And join us next week for our next activity, and we'll see you soon, guys. Take care.